Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for education and entertainment purposes only. So the market is really taking a dump today. What's going on? Everyone's confused. Mass complacency reigns supreme. No one's prepared for a big sell-off. And I believe the news event that catalyzed this sell-off was Iran now wants to retaliate. They want to flex, right? Flex their muscles, show the world how powerful they really are, because they were looking like chumps, you know, with all this talk but no action. I think now they have to get in the ring and fight. You know, they're taking all these punches and they're like, they don't want to fight back. So now they want to fight. So if that really happens, yeah, I believe you'll have a big catastrophe in the market. I mean, just let's face it, you're going to have the Middle East erupt because Israel is in total war mindset. They're not in, okay, just let them burn out their energy. Let's let them blow off some steam, and then no, they're gonna punch back just as hard, and things will get out of control very fast. So the pattern we had here was a simple A, B, C pattern, correction here and a dump. Now we're in a wave 3. It could really get going still. I'm looking for this false breakout of this pattern, this pattern, a false breakout, a close here. Once that is confirmed as a false breakout with a failure, then it should unravel very rapidly. That's what I'm looking for. The triple Qs had been bearish. There was a short opportunity on close yesterday for those that wanted to take that there in a nice 1-2-1-2 setup, and we're probably still in the wave 3. And again, also we had Apple news. Apple said, or an analyst said, that Apple's phones are down. Now there is money coming in the market on the energy side, so it's not a total washout. Here we want to take this low out on the Dow. If we could do that, we'll get another push lower. We'll lose another 400 or 500 points. So the Dow, the market, the algos are trying to save the market. They're trying to save this market. The algos they don't want the market to go down. Like, it's not supposed to go down. It just needs to keep going up, right? The VIX, the people that manipulate the VIX have lost control of the market, obviously. Here, so the VIX gave us the clue. We had 5 waves on the VIX. I told you guys the last live stream to look for 5 waves, a pullback. We got it, and now wave 3. And this wave 3 could be over. We could be in wave 4 right here, but it could continue to extend higher. Ultimately looking for the VIX to get to this area, ideally 30 on the VIX. But it won't be a straight line up. It never is. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. UVIX, same thing. Almost got to another buy area on this 3-wave move down on a 1. And this one doesn't have a lot of separation. We have this bearish divergence here. So this could be a 1-2-1-2 setup. This could be a clue that the VIX could also be in a 1-2-1-2 here and not necessarily in a 3. This could be a 1-2-1-2. Again, SQQ hit a 2, is now moving in 3. Once this trend line is broke, you should see rapid selling in the NASDAQ with this pump. So the market is on pins and needles. Technically, not a lot. I guess if things start to go wrong in the market, it will unravel very rapidly. And October is notorious for crashes. Bitcoin, I told you guys to watch this shallow connector wave. We got that once we broke that low. Now that opens us up for 60,006. So there's your buy opportunity in Bitcoin for a potential wave 2 bottom. Again, and a kind of a crash correction, 60,006, 59.8. I could be interested in crypto trades in this area once again, but now that we broke this low, it's clear the market's going down. I would not be a buyer of crypto. It was a shallow B wave. It will need to just let this play out. Gold wants this 5th wave, but once that 5th wave is in, gold could have a rapid collapse. Silver did bounce in the tradable area. There's no guarantee it can make a high. If it can't make a high and gold makes a high, chances are silver will fail. This bounce will fail and go lower, and silver's already peaked in its cycle high. Dollar index, like I said, I believe this is an end in diagonal, and we may be trying to come out of that. We could still continue to push lower. It's tough to say. The yen looks like could be a 1-2-1-2 setup. This would be yen strength ready to hit wave 3 of 3 to the downside, which should collapse world markets when that happens. If this is to count. Now that we could still be in 2, get a little bit higher. There's always a chance we're in the higher degree 2 as well. But once this plays out, this wave 3, this is probably what will generate the collapse in the markets. And I think that's all I want to say for now. I'm not interested in buying anything right now, obviously, given my bearish setup that I mentioned that we were in. I know the market pumped yesterday. Again, it was manipulated using options by some big investment banks from what I read. And they used the VIX through options to manipulate the market at will. But when the sell-off gets going, that dynamic will end. They won't be able to do that anymore. They would be overwhelmed, and they'll actually blow themselves up. And those firms doing that will actually probably blow themselves up and need to be bailed out if there is a bailout to go around anymore. That's probably what will happen in the grand super cycle, and how they'll eventually that game won't work anymore. But for right now, that's the game being played. That's what happened yesterday. But this Iran thing definitely caught the market by surprise. No one's prepared. Thus, everyone wants puts, hedges, and that's you get your VIX spike until this settles down. And of course, you have your port strike, which people still are poo-pooing. They don't think is a big deal, but it's actually a very big deal if it goes on for several weeks. All right, that's it. Let's go to your super chats, guys, and then I'll get off if we don't have a lot to talk about, and I'll go through some of the other market maybe if I have time. So Ryan, Hex, like all the cryptos in a sell-off mode. Bitcoin is going down, like I said, to 60,000. Once that is finished, then crypto could stabilize. If the king goes down, so does the kingdom, right? If the king is selling off, the kingdom will follow suit. So I believe you need to be careful. Let's take a look at where we are. So we played this wave 4. We got this wave 5, right? Now we have this wave 3. We have this wave 4. And this wave 5 could have been done right there. So this wave 5 could be over at any moment right there. That could be it. Maybe one more high. But as you can see, it's at risk to have a collapse because it's finished the whole cycle from this low. So this has to retrace in a massive correction. Let's take a look at some divergences. You do have that between this peak and that peak and these two peaks. Higher time frames, you have divergences. So yeah, to me, it looks like you're in a wave 5 that could end at any moment. You don't have confirmation of it ending yet, but given the look in Bitcoin, it seems likely this is just going to dump. And when it does, you're looking for your wave 4 cluster, which is right around here. So this is the area that I would look for the correction to end. But it would be, it could be like a 3-wave move, something like that. So I've been looking for a pullback like this, possibly one more high in wave 5, but that should be it. And then a pullback, and this is buyable once it develops and gets more data in with a connector. Okay, Ronaldo. Yeah, so FFIE right now, like it's risk off kind of in the market. And if your stock hasn't sold off yet, if the market really gets going to the downside, everything's going to wash out. I don't think anything is a safe haven or a trade other than, long VIX, short, but you should have already got those positions especially yesterday on close was a gift. Again, people like, I just kind of laugh because people are like, oh yeah, look, the market pumped it, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And then today they're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe you were right. Shit. Oh my God, what happened? Because they're impatient. A lot of people just are impatient, but now they're going to chase to the downside. But I believe, like everything, the VIX, if the VIX is 5 up, it should pull back again, which will be another market rise and then another fall. So it's choppy. So FFE, let's take a look at FFIE, how that's doing, faring today. And China already blew its wad, right? It's blew its bazooka, and everyone FOMO'd in at the worst possible time. So you got all this trap money. Eventually, will be panic selling. So there's no safe haven here. So with FFE, now that you broke that low, you set up a lower low. So now I would be looking for short opportunities on pumps versus long. I wouldn't want to buy this long, although it could play this game. We've talked about this game before where it loves to do these patterns like that. But I think given the market dynamic right now, I wouldn't expect it to do that. I think right now that it broke this low, to me, it's not really tradable on the long side anymore. It would be a short, something to short. And I just don't see a short setup at the moment unless it can get more. We can get some more data. Maybe you see there, maybe there's an intraday short here like this. If it can pump back up to 281, 284, this area here, that could be a short opportunity as a day trade for a really big drop. So you have something like a three-wave move, something like a W, X, Y. That's what I'd be looking for. And then this is something like, and again, it's such a small degree, but something like that. You get something like that. So I wouldn't be trying to play this rise, which I think though, I wouldn't be surprised to see it do this, come back up, right? To come back up. But I would be looking more to short that if it were to happen like that. That's the ideal setup. Short in there, and then boom. That's what I'd be looking for. That's what I'd be looking for. Good luck on that. And then let's take a look at your next one, Dogecoin. We know that Dogecoin needs more downside ultimately, but we wanted like a counter trend pump with crypto. Let's take a look at how it's doing technically and see where we are with it. Wow, we did get a pretty big pump here. We see we got that C wave. Now see, I wanted to get it to 16 cents. We didn't quite get there. This looks like, to me, this is a completed cycle right here. Like that. And that's in 3. So I believe this is probably moving in 3 for now. You see I have 3 here. So this is a Y wave. So it can move in 3. This is in 3. So this can move in 3 as well. So because of that, this could have morphed into this structure, which I think it's done. And now the question is it finished? I don't think it is. I think it's a connector wave that will end and get one more pump before the bigger dump, which will probably be the bigger dump in crypto when Bitcoin makes maybe this wave 5 push. That's what I'm thinking. Now, if it comes back down and breaks below this level at 8.9, then it's over. It's over and it's going to collapse rapidly. It's the way it goes. Too many bulls on one side of the boat, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll have a bounce. More than likely when Bitcoin hits that buy area, what I showed you earlier would be the time that this will probably reverse as well and come out. Let's take a look at the shorter time frame. There's your connector wave, right? A shallow connector wave. So we could time a bounce, a tradable bounce at 10 cents. So I'd be looking for 10 cents, 9, 6, somewhere in this area to have it rally out. to have it rally out for this bigger move higher, pump higher. But it can even go higher than 16 cents because it's in a connector wave. It could actually come way high. So we don't know, but I believe whatever it does in this final connector wave will fail ultimately and break these lows eventually. So yeah, Dogecoin here at 10 cents, 9 cents could be a great trade opportunity, an easy double your money trade, potentially. Could be an easy double your money trade if the market gives you the setup. It could truncate, so we don't know. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, I'm looking at the rest of your question, going back to FFE. If you did really want to buy it and play the long side here, what I'd recommend is you're going to have the next target area from using my system, and again, can be wrong. Let's get rid of all this labeling. Would be the extension on that swing down. So that would be here. 250. This area, 216 to 250. So this is the area where I would be looking for that leg to end that I just showed you. We could short that leg, this leg here, but it should end like there probably. And then you could get a bigger bounce. So you could try to short it where I showed you earlier and then drop and then cover it and go long and then just keep playing that game for a while. If you want to trade this, that's how I would trade this. Now, as you can see, you break that low, you're going to break this, right? That low, which means when it does bounce, it's probably going to fail again and you'll have to reshort it. But I think it would bounce at 250 in this area, and then that would fail and go even lower, and then that will probably hit these lower areas that you're mentioning down here, the 190, 150 area. So that's how this will probably play out. You know, you come here, you get a bounce, right? And then you get another failed trade down. Something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Okay, BNR on extra, I'm short. When would you stop out? Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look here on extra. Let's see. BNR, my BNR. EXTRA. I assume this is it, what you're looking at. So we'll just so for me, let's go to the higher time frames. If you're short, it looks like 5 waves up with a 3. No, that looks like 5 down here. So yeah, I would stay short, but I would get out of the short if it broke above 68. Maybe because it's so close, I would probably say 69. Give myself some room, like 69.20. That's where I would cover the short on this, and I'm trying to play for a wave 3 to the downside, and that could very well happen, because this looks like to me 5 down here, and then the counter trend rally, and it could be done in this 1, 2, right? That's what it looks like to me. It looks like something like this. And then it had a counter trend rally. And then you want it to go lower. So if that's 2 is in, that's what you want. If it doesn't hold, well, then you're still in 2. And theoretically, it could go all the way back, you know, so you got to stop out. Because you're playing this counter trend bounce if you're trying to hold through it, and it could take time. You have to understand it could do this as well, right? It could do that, which is highly likely given how long this took and how short this is. you may be short in the A leg, and then into B, you may not make a lot of money and then eventually get stopped out later in C, where C would have been the better short, but there's no guarantee you'll get it. Maybe you're get lucky, got the 2, and then you could play that. So that's what you're hoping for, if that's right. All right, Alex. Okay, NVAX. So long-term targets, again, I never like giving targets. I will because you gave me the super chat, but you always want to talk about how much are you willing to lose, not what you can make. The targets, I can give you targets that will make you, euphoric and your dream you're going to be a millionaire, but there's no guarantee those targets will ever get met. So let's go back, the bigger picture. The bigger picture on this stock is, if we look and zoom out of this chart, it seems to have these massive dumps and massive pumps, right? This looks like actually some kind of triangle connector, like to me on a very high time frame. So, I mean, that's what it looks like to me. A, B, C, D, E, right? 3. This is what it looks like to me. W, X, Y, right? And then this looks like, again, it's not probably 100% accurate, but you get the idea. Something like that. That's what that looks like. And then Y comes. Now, so the target, it could well exceed, 323 and higher, which, those extensions get you to $400 or $500. So it could go to $500. That could be the target, right? That could be the target, $500. Now, but what kind of time frame? I don't know. Maybe years, decades, don't know. Maybe 12 months, who knows? But here's the chart that I'm playing around with. So I wanted to see, I know we're in this B, this mess. Now we broke that low there. Probably have to put that B there, so, and then put a C there, and then put a W there. So this is a messy correction. It's not ideal, but it looks something like this. My guess is it's going to try to retest this bottom area for a low, and if it could do that, it could moon. It could moon. So it's coming down. I think it's probably going to fill this gap, and then after that, the market will decide. Now, if it breaks this low, then it's going to create a new sequence lower, and it could go it could be technically devastating. It would probably negate that chart I just showed you. So this is what I'm looking for, something like this on Novavax. It looks like it's starting to turn down on the daily here. You see that? I want to see that daily reset, drop, capitulation, boom. Then, okay, let's buy the lottery ticket, and maybe we get lucky. Maybe some new disease emerges, and these guys got a cure for it or something. So, here we go. I'll also be looking at this downtrend line right here, right? Now that I have it, something like that, there's your connector. So there's your massive trend line. I'll be looking for that to break. You break that, then of course the low's in, and this was the low. But I believe we're heading down. Okay. Then KOSS. Let's go to KOSS costs. KOSS. So we're in this X wave mess, sideways, the higher, ultimately target looking for Y, which would take out this peak. If it could hold this consolidation area where it's consolidating right now, and that may not hold it, but let's just assume it's able to do that and eventually break out. Looking for probably $24, $25, and that'll be it. That would be my target here. I believe this is still, you still play the chart that you have, not what you, I mean, it isn't working yet, but I think you just play the chart you've got. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, So this looks like some setup like this. So just play the chart you have. So this is the chart that I've got right now. Now, you break these lows, it negates that, right? And then it's going to go lower. And then this is a connector, and then X is going to go deeper. And then your target, ultimate target, will be lower. So this one I wouldn't be messing with in this area until I got a more convincing breakout or breakdown buy. Alibaba, yeah, let's take a look at how that one's doing because of the China pump, right? China pump, the China pump. Let's see here. Alibaba, so again, backed into the low here. A lot of people were asking me about Alibaba. I said, hey, it's got to hold this low at 56 or it's going down to like $17. So of course, you know, so you back into the low and then we're like, hey, once it takes this high out, you got the confirmation. You got the confirmation at 78 and then it just, now it's playing out. So I think you have to assume you're in a new bull market in BABA, but there'll be paybacks. There are going to be, pullbacks. Now, we could still be in this bigger degree too, right? Now, this would be pretty sinister if the market does something like this, which I wouldn't be surprised it does, because I still think China's a false pump. This is a false breakout. It comes back down. This is a three-swing move, right? This is some three-swing move. It does something like this, right? And then you have something like this, and it comes back down, you know, and maybe it does a run-in flat, truncates, but you get like a really deep pullback, possibly back to this area, back all the way back down to 768, 72. So what do you need to negate that view? You're going to need a deeper pullback. We don't have it yet, and a high with diverge. You need a fifth wave. So you don't have a fifth wave yet. You just have a corrective wave. The way this wave looks is corrective. It's not impulsive. It's corrective. It's a bearish wave that could be over. Now, we go back below $100, then I would say it's definitely bearish and it's just going to collapse on itself and come back down. But the thing is, I don't know how deep it will go. Like I said, it will turn into a flat correction on this higher degree, and more than likely this low will hold, but it would have to turn into an impulse down. It would have to do something like a 1, a 2, 3. It would have to do something like that, and then the 2 is in. Boom. Now we can break out in China. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. So I think that's what will happen in BABA. I don't think it's just going to be like people are saying, oh, just going all the way to infinity. Nah, that goes against my market forecast. Now, if the market dynamics change, if the NASDAQ could take out its all-time high that we made in July, I may change my mind on that. I may change my mind on China. I'll get more bullish. But I don't believe. I can't sit here and say, yeah, the world markets are going to collapse, but China is going to moon. Yeah, I can't. That's, I think, a foolish prediction. I mean, anything's possible, but I believe that won't happen. So, anyway, long-term target. Okay, so if this holds at 60, well, you'll enter a grand supercycle wave 3. You should take out this peak at 322. So the next buy area on BABA after 322 and the grand supercycle wave 3, roughly, would be around 500, 550. And that's conservative. That's conservative. That's a conservative peak. This wave 3, the personality of the last wave 3, it extended to the 2618. Right, so if it extends to the 2618, that gets you the 700. So it's possible it could even go higher than that, because it's a wave 3. Right, it's the wave everybody dreams of. It's the wave that gets people rich. Right, wave 3s is the money wave. Right, but we have to be smart about it. So whether you buy it at 110 or 70 or 60, it doesn't matter if you got a long-term horizon. But if you have a short-term trader's horizon, I think it's going to pull back. You know, that's my take on it. But good luck on your trade on that. Okay, appreciate the super chat. Okay, Snow. So my target in Snow's always been $90. It's been like in the 90s, I think, for like the last 12 to 18 months. I must have kept a lot of people out of that trade or recommended, and hopefully I've saved people from like buying into that. Let's go into Snow. Okay, we got this breakdown. There's my target. Man, we've been waiting patiently all these months, and you know, oh my gosh. And oh, looks like we have a 1-2 here. So look, you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but you broke the low. Damn. So that's going to extend. That's going to that may break through our range. Now it may not. It may not. But now you have a 1, 2. So I think it's best not to target that anymore, given the bearishness of this. Again, people are buying it. They want it so bad, but it's preventing capitulation, which means it's going to go even lower until we get that capitulation, and which we could be on the verge of. It could be a 1-2, 1-2 setup on the verge of a big move down. We've already broke this low too. So yeah, very bearish on Snow right now. And we want to see this play out more. And I had it at 90, but I think it will break 90 potentially and go lower now. But ultimately it needs to finish this big impulse down, maintain bullish divergence. And if it can do all that, possibly, maybe, just maybe, it finds a low for you know, a good future ahead and doesn't go into the abyss. But this has to play out. I think this has to play out. Now, there's always a chance you're still in the higher degree too, and this is a trap. But I would short that. If it decides to pump back up to like 148, 150, short it. Short it. Here, I think it's done. I think it's done. Okay, Google. Google was another one we were cautious about, very cautious. Again, no FOMO in Google. And now where are we with Google? Okay, so Google put in a B. We went down in 5 and a 1, 2. And did we break that high or not? We did. Okay, so looks like it wasn't a super bearish setup of a 1, 2, 1, 2, but we got this kind of setup, an ABC. So that's the setup. Where do we see it turning? Now we have to go to the shorter time frame and look for an impulse. So we have a 1, 2. Yeah, so looking at this count, 3, 3. So you have 3, 3, 3. So I think there's more upside, actually, short term. Short term. Again, maybe it's a perceived safe haven, right? Early on in the pullback, before they realize how dumb that is. But people do a lot of dumb things. They think these tech stocks are like treasury bonds. They're like guaranteed money. But when they wait till they find out they're not. So yeah, I think it's going to still go higher. There's your 4 and 2 cluster. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to 177, 180. So to me, this is tradable on the upside, but counter trend. It will fail and fail spectacularly when it does. So you can't fall in love with it. You're not going to be able to fall in love with this thing, but it's definitely tradable. I mean, I'm going to just label it the way I see it right now, not what I wish it to be. I mean, of course, I'm very bearish, but I'm not, you know, I'm not an idiot either. So I think it's going to do something like that. I think it's got a bigger move higher coming. I don't know. Does it maybe some news drops coming that's going to be bullish? Whoops. Go back. Get rid of that thing. So anyway, that's the setup that I'm seeing. More upside. And then a calamity. but everything's going to get hit, even Google. So I think that's the play. And we know that with the lower low, we broke the low. So this is going to fail. But I believe it's got more upside coming. I think it's got more upside coming here. You know, the 45-minute is pretty bearish. See, the 4-hour, see, if we had bearish divergence on that 4-hour, then I would say, okay, it's ready to drop at any moment. But it erased that divergence. I think it's going to push higher. I think it's going to push higher on the 4-hour time frame. I think I'd rather see some 4-hour bearish divergence play out here on this leg, on this final leg higher, to know that it's over. And I don't see that. So I have to label it this way. Okay, good luck on Google. Amazon. Amazon's a little different. Looking for this pullback and why. And again, this could go deep. I'm looking for 141, but it can go even lower. There's a lot of room to correct. See, Amazon's finished this top, and it needs a 3-wave pullback at least. Now it could bounce and keep going and but my thing is, I think it's got to go down more. So as long as you're below 195, 196 here, I think you're in the Y wave. You're like, well, why is Amazon bearish? Well, maybe they're going to get hit with the port strike and shit's not going to be able to sell stuff anymore. I don't know. And by the time investors are smart enough to realize it, you know, that you know, Amazon will be down. Like, I think this is what I'm thinking. So I think you got to be bearish on Amazon right now. Looks like a 1 2 1 2 3 4. Looks like we're finishing, or see how that we got that bullish divergence. So it looks like this first impulse should be coming to an end soon on the 45-minute time frame and counter trend. And so you should get a bounce soon. Could be here, could be a little bit lower. You want to see it below 195. Now, if it could take out 195, this high, then I think it's going to reach this higher target and then fail here, which would raise this target, and you'll get more of a sideways correction ultimately. But good luck. Okay, SLB, Schlumberger, yeah, very tempting. That sector is very, very enticing, right? Very enticing to long that sector. And the Iranian news really helps, you know, justify it. I still want to see that 5th wave. Now, the OIH is the sector. And the OIH, you know, I mentioned it could have been a good buy. It actually dumped a bit. It had a bigger dump. Now it may be trying to turn out. And if this OIH is in here at 2, then I could be off on this count. And then SLB's bottomed. So if SLB can take out 44.42, then it's bottomed. Schlumberger's bottomed. And it could be entering, and it bottomed early. And I went back and I did some research on the OIH. It has in times in history, you know, again, I went through ChatGPT and it said that in history, OIH has moved higher while oil has dropped at certain points in history because it foreshadows a bigger pump in oil before oil moves, the commodity itself. And so people start to gear up for that. And the market anticipates that. So that's what we may be seeing. So if we see the OIH sector, the services sector bottom soon, that's your sign that oil may not go much lower than where it is now. Now, I wanted to see it get into the $50 area and then turn. And that's what this is predicting, like a smaller decline. But if the Iranian news hits, oil may just decide to moon and it's over anyway. And of course, energy will go through the roof. So I believe that you know, looking at history, it said that OIH can bottom first while the XLE and the oil commodity itself finishes its cycle lower because it's preceding a smaller drop, and it's kind of anticipating that future like mega pump in price that will be coming. That's the market price kind of like anticipate. So that's what I read. So I think it's okay to have the OIH bottomed here, but still calling the commodity lower for now. Now the commodity today, we have to watch it because the news, this news event is pretty serious potentially if it happens, right? We can't be too naive to think it may not happen. So we have to understand where we are. Now we have this 2. Now I still put this short area here for B, right? So could be in B still. So it's not all clear for the bulls. It's still meandering around, right? We'll see it. This is the area where it's going to bottom. Now some people, market forecasters, are like, oh, it's going back to 20. It's not going back to 20, guys. And the OIH is telling you it's not going back to 20. Yeah, I think it's got a bigger scare, but then I think it will find support. And then we've got some pain coming in energy. Look at that. That wave is coming. $200, $220. I wouldn't be surprised if the upper band trend line, the historic upper band, I call it the pump trend line, gets tagged. You see here, tagged here. The 70s pump, the 08 pump, and our future 2020s pump. Boom. That's what I'm looking for. So that's probably going to happen. But I wanted to see a bigger capitulation move here, at least down to the 50s to get it. So Schlumberger and OIH could be telling you that it's predicting this turn already. And that's what ChatGPT said. It said that those 2 instruments can start to go up historically while oil finishes a correction and then pulls it out ahead. It leads it out in certain situations. And that may be what we're seeing now happen right here, right now, if you're following me. Good luck with your trading. Okay, that's Schlumberger. UEC. UEC is like, you know, the uranium trade, which again, it was due a pullback, but I believe uranium now keeps building higher highs for now. Higher highs with pullbacks, of course. So you just have to chart the Elliott waves. So if you look here, right, you know, 3, 4, 5, right? You got massive bearish divergence. Now, the one thing you see in this 45-minute, you see your peak is at 1 and not on 3. You see this RSI is below that. So this could actually be a 1-2-1-2. This could be a 1-2-1-2 setup. 1-2-1-2. So it's possible that you got this. So it may not be a 5. So I don't like selling it. So this, and again, this would be a breakdown of the trend line, and this would create a big pump. I can't tell you that that's going to happen, but the 45-minute may be telling us not to get too bearish and not to be cute. Like, oh, I'm so smart, I'm going to short this wave 5 and then I'll get back in later. Yeah, right. Good luck. That's stupid. The best thing to do is just hold your position. Just hold your position. You had the breakout. Once you took this peak out at 550, you had your breakout. You could have market bought it here. You just hold it. You just hold it. There's no reason to sell it. The bulls are in control of the uranium market. Okay? And news like today helps. A war with the Middle East will help. All these things pump. Okay? Now, and Ronaldo, NSEN. All right, NESN. On the 6th. So this one looks like it's correcting from a peak. You took out the divergence a little bit here. It looks like it's should be close to finishing its correction in this area, general area. So I still would be looking for a bounce here in this area, general area. It definitely is probably an impulse up as it's so extended. You could say that, you could make the case that's a 3. I think I'll do that. So it looks like to me you've got some kind of like, you know, my guess I'll put the 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. So you see where the wave 4 is. Typically the market would like to come back to 62. So my guess is you'll get some kind of bounce, but I would be careful that this bounce will fail and go lower later. But I think it's due for a bounce. And if you're lucky, it goes to new highs. But this is an area where it should turn. If you're patient enough and wait, it should turn out of this area. You should get a bounce, a relief rally. Unify, let's go to Unify. So Unify short, you got the 3 wave. So you see there's a couple things to think about in Unify. First, you have your 3 here, an extended 5th. You lost your whole 5th. So this is a classic correction. This is very impulsive to me, right? And then you had a 3-wave move down. So this is a bullish instrument in general, which is dangerous to short. It's a dangerous instrument to short these kind of because it's a bullish instrument. And you see where you came between the 4 and the 2 exactly. So it's following. It has a perfect chart using my system. And then you had a great bounce out of this, right? With bullish divergence. So this is clearly 5 waves. I'd be worried you're shorting a bullish instrument that could be on the verge of a really big breakout. So I would recommend, I would honestly, you're going to do what's best for you, but I wouldn't recommend shorting this. I would recommend actually buying it using what I'm seeing here, but you'll have to do what's best for you, right? You're going to have to decide if you want to try to do that, but I don't recommend that. To me, you're playing with fire if you're short. To me, you see the count that I have here. You could very well be shorting a potential wave 3, 1, 2, right? A wave 3 of 3 breakout, which is probably the worst time to be caught in that kind of position. And I would just be really careful. Look, it's up 24%. There's a reason it's up 24%, right? Think about it, right? And that like kind of move is consistent with a 3 of 3 breakout. So if I'm labeling this, you see all those 4s and 5s have to play out, and we haven't even started. So it could still be well within the 3. It could have another 25% day tomorrow, and the next day it could just keep going. So you're in a very dangerous spot. I would not recommend shorting it, but do what's best for you. Okay, anonymous Bitcoin update. So I kind of gave a Bitcoin update earlier. My take on Bitcoin, guys, is this: Bitcoin formed a shallow connector. I mentioned to kind of keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that shallow connector here. So I want to see Bitcoin head down to 60,006, 59.8. So until that happens, crypto is under pressure. And right now we could be in this first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be just a wave 2 rally. This could be like day traders short opportunity in Bitcoin. If you're a day trader, let's take a look at this wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're in this 2 wave. It could still come up higher a little bit, but I believe that's the count in Bitcoin. So I believe it's going to do something like that. So that means typically all the stocks you mentioned should go down in sympathy, right? The king goes down, the kingdom falls with it, right? The king is going down, so does the kingdom, right? Your stock isn't special. It isn't special. It's going to go down with the ship. All right, so my MIGI, oh, hey, look, hey, hallelujah. We're getting our 5th wave finally. I want to see the 5th wave. To me, it's the same chart. I don't like the 15-minute because it's notoriously inaccurate, but it looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, needs 4s and 5s. But once we break that low, it could bottom. But maybe it'll time its bottom with Bitcoin at 60,000, like I showed you, or 59,000. Easy, right? BCHG. Again, worried about the flat, no change. There's your target right there. I hopefully kept you out of that trap, right? Your last super chat looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2. down. Okay, no changes. LTCN, same thing. There's your buy, 13, but I would let it go a little lower. There's your wave 4. I would technically the market could turn here, but it would be better entry at 11. So this one you're going to have to like manage your money and risk properly, because I think it could go deeper down in this area, but it doesn't have to. But I believe it's going lower. I wouldn't buy it here. Best way to time crypto is time Bitcoin and see what happens in that area. All right, thanks for the super chat. All right, Carl AAP, let's go to yours here. Advanced Auto Parts, all right. What is going on with this stock? Yeah, big correction here. So we were looking for a flat. So we're looking for 2677. So I'm looking for this series. So someone asked me about this. Maybe it was you a long time ago. And there's really no change to this chart. It's just a massive flat correction playing out. So again, this looks like a 1-2. So we're looking for that. We need to take out these divergences. Monthly needs to come down. Weekly needs to come down. So we need some divergences. You know, maybe not as important on the monthly since it's a flat. But this looks like a 1-2 here. I'd be looking for more downside. You know, it's going to be tough to time it. You're just going to have to probably, if you want to buy this, just maybe around even $20, but the low 20s, high teens is probably where we're heading. Let's look at so you have a lot of support here, historic support right here, right around where this is at 27. So maybe a wick through that and come back. So somewhere in this area is where I think it will bottom out into. Ultimately, it has to stay above 1114 in my opinion, but that'd be a full round trip. Investors would have lost essentially all their money in this instrument. Pretty dire situation for the company. Yeah, wow, pretty bad investment for buy and hold investors. Okay, Square, let's take a look at Square real quick. So I'm still going with this chart that I have here, and until it's negated, I won't change it. So we should be seeing a big push lower soon in Square to the downside, ultimately finding support above 38. So maybe, you know, it's hard to say where it will bottom, maybe in the low 40s, mid 40s. That's somewhere around here. Now, if it breaks this low, it's a broken chart. And it should collapse. The stock will rapidly collapse back down to the historical low, you know, historical area of support, single digits, $10. So I think this is the last stand for the bulls. But if we break this low, then I'm looking for $10 or lower. Okay, and then Reynaldo. No, I don't have a PayPal. YouTube is just easier for my overhead and everything else. It's just simpler for me. Maybe one day I'll have a better system to use, but I appreciate that. Thanks for the tip. Okay, Bama. Yeah, you know, I think it's not too early to buy some sectors. I think the OIH is the only thing in energy that looks like, by my system, that it could have bottomed early. But I still respect my system, and I don't want to FOMO in energy despite the Iranian news. I just won't do it because I don't trade on news. Suckers trade on news. What if the news story was a lie just to you know, F around with people? Could be. Just to, you know, F with traders. God knows. So I don't trade on news. Oxy, looking for, so Oxy wanted one more low. We did get that. You know, real tight correction. You know, wanted to see it go deeper. If we could break this trend line, Oxy could have bottomed. You see how the RSI reset there? Let's go to the weekly cycle. Yeah, I mean, but not yet. You see, it's energy is so like, you could buy, this could be the worst time to buy it right here, right now. So I can't FOMO in here yet. Now, if you can get a bigger push higher, then Oxy may have bottomed, and then we could start looking at all these. But what if it's not? What if this is a 1-2-1-2 and then energy collapses? The Iranian news was a bluff. They were paper tiger again, and boom, it drops in everything, and then it's, you know, deflation, port strike, everything shut down, businesses going furloughs, boom, COVID part 2, you know, whatever, $40. Oil dumps, and then everything break, you know, then it goes higher. So like, I just don't want to chase it here, not yet. But yeah, I'm watching it. The OIH has a different picture though, to me. OIH has a different picture, but the other stuff, not yet. Let's look at the XLE. Yeah, see, it's still not where I want it to be, right? It's still on the downtrend, right? It's still, again, it could be the worst time. What if it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2? The worst possible setup. Like, I don't want to FOMO into that. Now, this could also be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a bigger 1, 2 as well. So I don't want to FOMO in. I don't want to FOMO in. But we have to keep an eye on things. We have to keep an eye on it. We have to keep an eye on the market. Yeah, I try to block people that want to mess with me, but I don't really care. You know what's funny is a lot of times on my YouTube, when like I'm like, oh, the market's gonna go down, and then it goes down, I actually lose followers, and it always puzzles me when that happens. And it's because I think there's a lot of people that want to watch other people like fail, actually, like not succeed. And I think people are taking notice of the success of this channel, and they either are jealous because they can't reproduce it themselves, or it goes against their trade strategy, or their you know, their account positions, right? If I'm saying the market's going to crash and they're all in with their stack, they don't want to hear what I have to say. So I don't really care what they say. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I could care less. Lose all your money, I could care less. I don't care. Now, if you want to say something really inappropriate, yeah, you'll get banned, because we can't have that. But yeah, people think it's stupid or whatever. Like, some dude DM'd me yesterday about, oh, it's pumped, you dumbass, and then today we're sold off 300 points. The VIX spikes to 20, and now where's that guy? I should take that DM and embarrass the shit out of this dude, right? I should. See, and that happens all the time, guys. There's so many idiots out there that trade, but you watch them on Wall Street Bets. They're the ones that they lose all their money. They're like down 99% because they put all their money in China, because that's what the guy on TV said to do. And then China sells off and he lost all his money. And you're like, what the hell? Fuck. Oh man, I'm such an idiot. Or they're like, I'm going to buy Tesla because Tesla's going to 3,000. I'm diamond hand in Tesla. And then the market sells off in a historic correction and he loses all their money. Or like in December when I was saying buy and hold, everyone's like, oh, it's going down. We need a correction. We need a correction. Everyone was talking about this correction. March, a correction. And I was like, no, just hold. Just buy the dip. And then so people don't know what they're doing. And so they get angry because they don't want to take ownership of their decisions. They don't take accountability for their own actions. They want to blame others. So they get angry. And I get that. It's hard when you trade on your emotions and you think you can outsmart the market. Because the market isn't something you could play like chess and outsmart. It outsmarts you all the time. All right. It's not. There's always a possibility, right? With Elliott waves, there's never a guarantee. If anyone's like, this is the guarantee, then you need to unfollow them fast, right? Because on the big picture, you see I have 3 swings, and I have 3 swings. This is a connector. So this is the low that has to hold right there. 52,000, 800 has to hold. Okay? If that doesn't hold, well, guess what? This is just a bear correction. And then it's going down to the area we have here, 42,000. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Can I guarantee it won't break that low? I can't guarantee. No one can guarantee it. I can't guarantee shit. I just telling you how to trade it. Like, I just look at the structure of the wave. I'm like, okay, we took out these highs. We're up in 5. We're pulling back in a sharp 3-wave move. It seems pretty bullish. MicroStrategy broke out, right, a little bit. Why would I think it's going to go back down and break that low? There's really no reason to be bearish, until it happens. Now, when it happens, then yeah, then I can't do it. But can I predict it? I can't predict it. No one can. You just have to manage your risk. So if you're trying to buy it here at 59,000, you need to know where do you want to stop out? Are you going to stop out at 58,000 at this pivot here? Or are you going to hold and stop out and take the loss down to 52.5 and hold for a deeper 2, which can happen. But ultimately, we don't know for sure. No one knows for sure. We just trade what's there, because the trade actually to go in this was back here, where I was saying go in, and then I even had the trade off of this low on my channel too, off of this low. So we had the trades to get in at these lows, but a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people just bought it up here, hoping again it goes straight up and goes like that, and it never does. But that's what people hope for, and it never does that. So unfortunately, it didn't do that. People bought up here, and now they don't know what to do. And what I'm saying is, this is where I think the count is. I think these highs will be taken out. This will come out. But I believe you got a bigger correction. Like we were watching this the last week. This was a wave 5. It just kept extending, right? We saw the bearish divergence, and finally the bearish divergence played out like it should. And now we need to see, can the market support this or not here? We'll have to wait and see. There's always a chance, right? It could bounce here and fail, right? There's always this possibility like that. So anyway, there you go, guys. I don't, again, trade the news, right? I don't trade the news. So Middle East conflict, it could be bullish or bearish. Like it could be bullish because people could perceive it as like a hedge, like a risk, like a protection, right? Risk off type thing. Capital preservation type thing. Maybe sanctions go on. They need to bypass sanctions, so Bitcoin goes up because they need to use Bitcoin to bypass sanctions, right? I don't know. I can make a bullish case using the news to justify it, but I don't trade on the news. But this is the chart. Okay, Donald, let's go to your question. Tesla. Yeah, let's see how it's doing. I hadn't looked at it lately. Let's take a look at Tesla, see what it's up to these days. What is it up to these days? So, all right, so it's in our sell area. We were, again, looking for this pullback in the sell area. We're getting it. But I do believe, I believe we'll get another push higher like this. Okay. I think we're going to get another push higher. But we got this pullback we got to deal with. And it's just starting, so it's going to take a while. Okay, now, I mean, let's look at a higher time frame. Yeah, clearly your 4-hour cycles break down. So there is a chance. So let me tell you this. I think it's going to swing higher, but there's no guarantee that it could do that. There is a chance that it's because we did not take that peak out, that we're in this count and we are starting a decline, and a break of that low would confirm that. But I think it's not likely. I don't think that's likely. What I think creates that pump is, again, my overall market forecast. If the SPY is in a 4 still. If we get a 4 and you see this 5, right? If we get that, then that's where you get that Tesla high I'm showing you. But if I'm off and this is wrong, let's say this is wrong. The 4 is here and we're already in 5. 5 is done. Then Tesla ain't coming back. Nothing's coming back. Apple isn't coming back. They're all going, the whole ship is going down. The ship is sinking. So I still don't forecast that. I think the market is going to trick a lot of people here. Bear mode, it's a crash, it's over, oh my God, but then one more massive pump to create some more separation on a lot of the shit stocks, and one more swing higher on some things like I need to see, then the crash. That's what I think will happen. That's what I think is going to happen. Something like this, drop, pump, crash 2025 or later, maybe around the change of power type timing, looking at this chart. Again, it can be wrong. Could be done already, right? What would lend us to being finished already is actually another high, because this is only 3 waves up. But if I can make this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get another push higher, then you know you're in 5 now. Then you can get rid of this idea. So that's another possibility. So that's how. So Tesla, obviously, the 4-hour cycle is turning down. So I believe you're in a correction now in Tesla. It's going down, and it's going to correct. And I think we have to just watch this correction develop to understand where it's heading from here. Chevron is probably looks like these other ones we were looking at, right on the borderline of being. So we broke this high. So there's your new buy area, 155. So it broke the high. So it should push higher. Bigger picture, it still could be in this 4. So again, shorter time frame, more upside, but ultimately I wanted to see it go lower. Now we only have 3 swings down here. We didn't break this low. I mean, it would have to be, the chart would have to be completely wrong. This would have to be completely wrong if this breaks out. I'd have to redo this whole thing. It would be a complete miss if that happens. I mean, so far it hasn't, right? We had a short here, right? It's all played out. But it's been very choppy. So I think, but now that we broke this high, I do think it's got more upside now to 155. And then we could see if we get this reversal down in 5. But ultimately, it has to stay below this pivot here, right here at 162. It breaks 162, the bear cases negate it, and this chart is wrong. And that's why I say sometimes I can be wrong. Sometimes I can be wrong. So you just have to understand that. Let's draw the downtrend line. Here, there. So maybe we're going to go back to tag that. So good luck on that. That's a tough one to trade. It's a tough one to trade. Energy is tough. It's a tough trade right now. All right, man. So let's take a look here. I'm going to scan through some of the comments and see how we're doing. How's everything going? Oh, Indo. Yeah, how's Indo doing? I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, how's Indo? I didn't look at it today. I should have. Oh my goodness. Yeah, up 52%. Look at that. Yeah, that's what the Middle East. Again, the market. It's like almost like a put on the market. This thing likes to go up when the market. It likes to go up when the market goes down. It's really strange instrument. But hey, you know, whatever. I don't know why it trades like that. But oh yeah, look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Oh yeah. Oh, come on, come on. Here we are, right there, right? Let's give us. Come on, Iran. You know, bomb the shit out of them. Let's get going. I don't know why it's pumping. Maybe it's in a mega pump because it's the market's selling off, and Iran news. Maybe it's a double whammy because you know I didn't care whether this is in Indonesia or not. I just looked at the chart. But maybe if the Middle East is blowing up in flames, maybe this little company is the only company making oil out there, you know, and all of a sudden everyone needs to buy oil from these dudes in Indonesia because shit, everything you can't get anything out of the Middle East anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Again, just we'll see how it goes. But that's cool. That's kind of breakout. But hopefully the fireworks are just getting started, right? Because I showed you the downtrend line here, guys. This is what we want, bro. When this thing breaks, like we saw here, that's what we want. That's what we want. So hopefully we're early. You guys watching, you're getting like a free one here if you haven't heard about INDO, if this is the right count, because I can be wrong. So do what's best for you. Okay. GME. I thought GME was actually looking okay yesterday. How did it hold up today? How's it holding up? Let's take a look. GME here. Yeah, GME is another one that, again, you just kind of let the chart play out. Looks like that 5 is done here. So it looks like you're in a wave 2. All right. Again, the chart's been holding up. Again, everyone's like, "Oh, you're wrong." Well, maybe I'm right. I don't know. The chart's holding up. Right? And here we go. Another 2. Maybe we drop back down to 2065. And then maybe we'll get our pump we've been all dreaming about, right? But as long as this chart holds up, so again, 17, I think is the level, the after hour low. As long as it's above 17, the bulls are actually setting the bears up for a massive move higher. There's a traps being set to the bears. But anyway, good luck. But I do believe this is in a 5, right? I was looking for this pullback. The 2, though, you know, like I said, it would be nice to see it get to 2093, but it doesn't have to. It could end at any moment. We don't know. We don't know. But that's the chart. That's the chart we got. All right, good luck with that, GME. I'm just scanning through the comments. Yeah, I did post Symbiotic on my channel before, so I'll cover that one just to show where that one's trading at. Here. Look at that. Inverse, head and shoulders. Oh, we want to break out so bad. We had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 1, 2, and it looks like a 1, 2. Oh, it just wants to break out so bad. Oh, it just... Come on, someone drop some news. Just drop some news. It just wants to break out so bad. Now, there's no guarantee. It could still be in 2. It could still be in this 2, right? Come back down to these areas. So we don't know for sure how it's going to trade. But, I mean, guys, this looks like a reversal, right? I mean, I'm not that smart, but that's what this looks like to me. This was our extreme area. We got there. And... Again, I was like, "Oh, you're wrong." Well, wait a minute, maybe you weren't wrong. You were just impatient. So many people are just so impatient. They want the trades to just moon them. Like the minute you tell them, like, but the shit doesn't work like that, right? Hopefully, this will turn into another Wingstop like trade. Like it goes, we got that one early. But yeah, we'll see. Will the chart hold up? I don't know. Maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see. But it has a good look to it. I like how it looks. I like how it looks. But there is a chance it could still be in this too, where you get this deeper pullback, then you can come out. So we just have to wait and see how that plays out. Okay, we'll have to just wait and see more how that's going to play out, and then go from there. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's ready to revert, right? It has a good look to it, right? A good look, but that isn't enough for it. But I do believe that we should see it come out of this and come back up to this area, at least back up to 38, but maybe higher if we're lucky. So something like this. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, good luck with that. Okay. But if it does take another dip down, that could be another second chance buy opportunity for those who missed it. Okay. Okay, yeah, no update on the Discord. Just been super busy. Just maybe at some point, but just kind of doing these live streams to help people out. So it looks like I got through everyone's comments and chats and everything. So let's just take one last look at where the market is trading right now, and I'll give you my take on it. So again, I'm looking at the VIX, like the VIX here. Let's take a look at what's going on. Again, if I'm just kind of Elliott wave labeling the VIX, I'm thinking something like that. Now, if it just goes down a little too deep, it could turn into a 1-2-1-2 as long as this stays below this peak. So there's a couple options for the VIX here. The UVIX, I think, is showing you that more upside is coming because of this is a connector that broke bullish. So I'd be looking for the UVIX at least to get up to 574, 598. So this UVIX should push higher with this bearish divergence playing out, which would lead me to believe this would be a 1-2-1-2. So that could really generate panic in the market. So I still think the market the VIX is telling you to be cautious about buying the dip at the moment, but it's been telling us that for the last couple weeks, but people chose to ignore it, and they're still choosing to ignore it, which, hey, it's cool. People, like I always say, do what's best for you. I can be wrong. But ultimately, we'll do this big sell-off. The Iranian news is definitely catching people by surprise. And people are going to do what they're going to do. I don't know. I think Iran is a wild card. If they do go crazy and bomb Israel, you're probably likely to see all that war, because Israel is not going to be like, okay, let them just run their energy out. Okay, it's over. They're done. We're done. Cool. Let's go back to trading stocks, and the indices can pump and buy. Paris can get elected. Like, it's not going to happen. I think they're in a whole. Their mentality right now is total war as a nation. They're like ready to fight. They want to fight. They're looking to fight, and you can see that. So I would think they would. God help them say hope. They may hope to have. They want a reason, maybe even, God, for all we know. So I think that could really escalate really bad, really quick. Anyway, yeah, TLT's dangerous. You can watch my update on that last time. And a super chat just came in. One more before I was about to get off here. Relton cheese lit. Okay, let me look at that for you. Lit. Arc fund? This one? I would assume it's this one. Lithium. So it's been really beat down, right? So let me make sure I got this target right. Yeah, looking at it, so you see there's that's your connector right there. So yeah, this chart needs to get updated. Let me remove all that. So to me, their W is there. So it's like that, and then Y, and then ABC. Yeah, this correction's over. You see that? You're in a new monthly cycle. This is done. This is in a new cycle higher. So to your point, is it a wave 3? Absolutely. Wave 3, yeah. It's in a wave 3. 1, 2, and you can't even label that. So just 3. And it could go higher. It could just keep pumping. And yeah, that's what that looks like to me, man. Let's look at the so once you want to see that break, and it should break. So you could still be very early in the bottoming process. So be careful for a pullback right here at 46, right? Left shoulder, make the right shoulder and come out. So you may get a pullback. You may get some kind of pullback here, congestion, and then come out later. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, that looks like to me your 3-wave move down here. We could probably better label this a little bit better here. Yeah, 3 and then 3 down in this cycle here. 1, 2. Let's see here. So it's like a 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, actually your B wave is right here. There's your B wave. So again, it's kind of a weird correction because it's not really symmetrical, but there's no rule in Elliott waves of things needing to be like very symmetrical and balanced. The waves are the waves, right? Some waves could be bigger than others. There's no rule on that. I know some people love to see that, but we didn't really get that here. 1, 2, 3, so 3, 4, 5. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Like that. So that correction is probably over. Yeah, so that's okay. I could care less. Yeah, the penny is fine. So here you go. So that's it. So good luck, guys, trading. I still think we got this sell-off in October. Will be choppy, absolutely. I think be defensive and expect the unexpected, right? And then you got the election on top of it, which who knows how